Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This will be the follow-up in the computers coming from Sweden. I have actually run a few tests and started to be doing videos on computers that cannot be repaired. Then I connected all and then find out which ones I can repair or not. So we have two more bad computers. One has a bad microprocessor and the other one has a bad EST. Let me just follow up. Yeah, we checked the MEFI 4 and the Bulbo Penta. This is actually a MERC Cruiser, both MERC Cruiser computers. One has the part number as A003-9408, and he had that one 9408 as a dead no communication, and that one has a bad microprocessor. I checked this one, all voltage rails are there, and it's nothing I can do with this one, so it's another bad computer. I have another one, which is a part number A00004124. This one is part number 162370009, and that one has a bad EST driver. That one is a crystal driver that cannot be repaired. I tried the same. It's a shorted coil, so it's very funny to see that it has the same faults or the same behavior as that other Bulbo Penta, but yeah, it's not repairable. So in the bench right now I have, this is part number A0034169, and it's part number 16236999. So this is a MERC Cruiser. When you see the 6999, it's a MERC Cruiser computer. All right, so you can see that in there. All right, so I'm going to power up the power supply and connect the computer to see what we see here. Got the diagram ready, and all right, let's see. All right, when that one is completely dead, we have no fuel pump and no fiber reference. Hopefully you can see there, we got the sensor ground, but there is no fiber reference on this computer. So this computer most likely will be a no communication. So let's try to establish communication. Again, I'm doing this in the process of showing the customer and all of you what I do before, and then to show if the computer is repairable after. All right, so let me get one of these. Oh, no, not one. This one is more centered, so you can see what I'm selecting. So this is Diacom Rinda. This is the best software I can use for computers of Marine, and it's very good software for Windows-based computers. Right, we select MEFI 1 to 4, and let's see if we can establish communication. I'm going to connect the two computers that I'm going to be testing to see if they talk or we have any sort of a response. All right, so you can see this is a dead no communication. So let me connect the other computer, guys, and I'll be right back. All right, I have the other one in the bench. This is the part number A0080422, and the part number is 16236999. This one is already, both are actually open. It's something to open up, see how that look inside before I plug it in and it's completely shorted out or something, right? Well, I don't see any burn spots. No, the computer looks and seems to be at least not burnt. All right, was actually on. Let me turn this on. And we got the same situation. So no fuel pump and just sensor ground and no fiber reference. This one has the cover is very dang, like it looks like it was probably just in the shelf for many, for a long time. And then he sent it for repairs. Again, let me see what his notes are. 0422. It says maybe fault unknown, maybe the same issue. Fiber reference is dead. Fiber reference is dead. So, well, yeah, it's not just a fiber reference. There's no fiber reference. The computer is dead. But let's try to connect. I'm going to do the same thing. Yes, you see that in there. And then see what the software is going to set. And I don't think it's going to be any communication. But sometimes you get no fiber reference and no pump and the computer talks. Yeah, no, this is definitely another dead, no communication. I have high hope on these ones. Usually when they're like this dead, they actually can be more repaired unless it's a burn spot in the computer, which I don't see here. So let me, again, try to work on these ones, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, finally good news in the two computers. So actually, let me, the first one I have is the one that ends in 4169. Let me power up. We can see immediately the fuel pump activation. And now you can see in there, I have the sensor ground, which is a green light. And then that orange light that we see here, that's a fiber reference. So that is an excellent sign. I'm going to get the picoscope, which I wasn't using because they were completely dead. I have a folder for each of the computers that I had test for Christopher or Christian. Let me just get everything ready here. I'm just putting the filters on the signals. I usually put a 40 kilohertz filter in the signals so we can clean up some of the hash that they're definitely normal to see. I'm going to put the measurements, minimum, maximum, low pulse width, and then maximum MB and minimum NB. So we should have everything that I always put. Looks good. All right, let's get diagram in here and the picoscope, which I have to select on OBS software. And that looks pretty good, right? Okay, so it looks like we're good to go. Let me get into the diagram software myself. And then do the selection as we did before. Yep. All right, so I hope that, yeah, this is connected immediately. We go into mode 1, sender diagnostics data, and then we connect. All right, this is a BC30. So let me write that down on the paper that I have for him, because this is the first time I connect into this one. So this is 4169. 4169. Calibration BC30. And I can tell you in a second what that calibration is for too. And that has 576.33 hours. All right, so let me see what that calibration is. I got a file from my cruisers and other computers that I can see what the calibrations for those computers are based on serial numbers or so on. Let me move you over to here and let's get this out of here. 1 second, guys, right? So we can see that. I'm gonna maximize that, and we're gonna do a Control F. Oh, we have to select first before I do that. MEFI calibrations, Control F, and it's a BC30. That's fine. Okay, so it's up here. It says the BC30, so that's a good calibration. Is for a 4.3, either alpha or Bravo. Just write on all that information. It also says that that is, let me see where, so you guys can see where I am. I'm going to put that kind of like gray area. It says that it's a production release from 1999. So that is, looks like it's the last calibration for that computer on a 4.3 liters, at least based on this document that I have here. All right, so let's run it, right? So let me go back to here and let's put the Pico in the diacom. We're already connected. Yes. Let me get zoom for the AES speed. And let's see, we got fault codes, no fault codes, which is great. So you can see that, but I gotta put the other pit, which I forgot which one is I want to have on. Okay, they're both showing the same thing, so I gotta correct that. So give me 1 second. Yeah, now we can see trouble codes and see if any trouble codes comes in as we run the computer. All right, let's run it. Beautiful. Let me get the the oscilloscope to separate the signals. Those signals on those injectors are not looking too good. We can see a little bit of a, like what I call multi-strike. And that's why if we read the pulse width, it's only showing, 100 and or something like 200 microseconds. And that is definitely not right. So it looks like this computer might have another issue, but let's rev it up to normal RPM, because sometimes when they're that low, it's not proper, but let's see. You see, that is definitely now looking better, right? You see how we were having like a multi-strike ignition, and it's because it's just cranking. So the computer it's in such a low state of crank, the pulse width is not good. But we can see no fault codes, and we can see a nice and clean pulse width on the injector. Now we're reading 1.2. The computer is looking for 1.7, and that is based on the manifold air pressure sensor, the throttle. Let me see how much throttle I got. I got 8.6. So this is actually looking really good. The computer is actually working really, really good. I can see the IAC here up in the, let me move this a little higher. Yeah, now you can see a lot better. So these lights in here, they now are flickering. You see the, like where I have my hand, that's the IAC valve. And this tool, the Mark 50, does a perfect job because I have not get a fault on the IAC like I do on the other simulator like the MST12000 or the MST9000. So this one has a very nice drivers, whatever they put in there, that works pretty good. So let's raise the RPM. I'm going to go to around 3,000. 4,000. 3,000. We can see a nice and clean injection. I'm going to move the throttle to around 30%, and I'm going to increase the manifold air pressure. That looks pretty good. We can see a little bit of that, hash in there, and that is not abnormal on the MEFI 3s. MEFI 3s computer, they do that for some reason in high RPMs, and that is, it's okay. The computer will still work perfectly. I'm going to decrease the RPM. Hopefully you can see in the signal. I'm going to put a trigger, automatic trigger, that will stop the signal from walking on our screen, so we can get a better idea of what is happening. And again, this is mostly happening because of the MEFI 3 system. It's very hard to clean those signals. We'll still get a little bit. Let me move the throttle. I need to see the value, so give me 1 second. We got a full code. Let me see what the full code, throttle position sensor high voltage. You see that's also part of what is probably happening in here. Let me lower the That's too much. I'm playing with the manifold air pressure to put them in 12.6, which is what I usually use. And then I'm going to, yeah, the throttle. Yeah, the throttle is reading 0 now, stuck in 0. Hmm. Here raise the phone. You see, that's a fault code. It might happen when I accelerate. And I have seen this on MEFI trees are, there's all computers. So they don't like too much simulators because I can see now the injection and everything working good, but not as good as it was before. So let me bring down to 600. And I'm going to turn the computer off 1 second. Oops, I need to turn the RPMs off too, right? I'm going to put the ignition back on. And I'm going to clear that fault code. Because as soon as the computer has that fault in there, it will not read the throttle position. You see right now the throttle position is in 35.5. And it was not like that before. Oh, not changing the manifold pressure. Okay, let me see because I move it too fast. Make sure that we don't get that one too soon. And let me run it again. You see, when that throttle signal is present, looking at the injection milliseconds, it's working perfectly. So that is not a problem in there. And we got 0 trouble codes. Again, this computer is a little picky with the signals. If it doesn't like the resistance that that simulator is providing, it will set up that fault, but there's nothing wrong with the computer. Again, I've been doing this for such a long time that I know this computer is pretty well. But yeah, no, this is definitely working good. We can see a nice and clean injection signal, and everything is, I can rev it up. The IX is working good. Fiber reference, all is present. All right, so I'm going to turn this one off. I'm going to keep the battery on because I don't want to lose that RPM. It's not a problem for me to disconnect this one here. So I'm going to keep the computer on the screen to connect the other one. I'm going to put it here. This one is the now good working computer. And I'm going to connect this other one, which is 0422. Oop. All right, let's see if we got the fuel pump. And definitely we do. that looks pretty good, huh? Now we have 2 working computers. I'm going to get instead of the trouble codes, I'm going to get the calibration, and I'm going to keep it as is right now before I connect, so you can see the difference in between the 2 calibrations. So give me 1 second. That will be speed. Let me see which one is the PID 1 and the PID 2. PID 1 is engine speed, and then PID 2 calibration injection. Perfect. Sometimes I got to play with that button in the on the OBS. But yeah, so the BC30 is the calibration for the 4.3 liters Alpha or Bravo, right? We don't know that, and it's never telling me. Well, let's connect now to this computer. I'm just going to start. Oh, I should have not done that. Now I'm going to have to reselect everything. All right, so, but you saw the BC30, so let's detect the first one, mode 1, standard diagnostics, and then connect. Let me put the RPMs again. And let's select the checksum, which now is an E930. Gotta go back and change that for you guys. Yep, now you can see it. You see that's now an E930. So if we go back to that calibration that I was showing you before, so let me take the the file with the calibration. So let me go over to the display. Yep. So we're going to do the same thing. Control F, and we're going to look for E930. Perfect. And now the E930 is right here. It says that that is a 350 mag MPI Alpha or Bravo, and it's the production release. So let me write that down in here. This one is 0422. And let me see how many hours. So the calibration checksum is good. Let me get into Diacom. And that has 226.8 hours. Perfect. All right, so we're good to run this computer now, right? All right, so let's get the Pico and the Diacom back here. And let's run it. The reason I run it, I keep the battery on, is because I don't want to like start with that really low RPM. Here we got 647 RPMs in there. Throttle position needs to be adjusted. There's definitely a difference in between these computers on the order. You know, their values of the sensor for a 4.3 to the computer resistance inside are different. So even though the computers are the same part number, the calibration, remember, the calibration is going to take that voltage and is going to change it into a value, right? Remember, the analog signal from the sensor will go into the analog to digital converter and then into the microprocessor to take, okay, if I have, let's say, 1.1 volts on this computer, is 7.8 percentage of throttle. In the other computer, maybe 1.14 is 20%. And that is the calibration. The voltage is the same, but the calibration tells the computer, okay, when I have that voltage, I have this much throttle position. All right, so that is all looking good. Two completely successful repairs, finally, right? So a lot of testing and a lot of time to only two computers. I wish I had the MEFI 4. It's a little more expensive computer to repair, but it was not repairable. It is what it is. There's nothing I can do, right? So the only one that it will be left, the only computer that I have left for him, it would be the MEFI 2 or MEFI 1. I forgot what it was in there. Well, we have 22 minutes in here. It's like 10 minutes per computer, right? That will be in a completely separate video because I have to connect that one in the MSC 9000, and we will see that one in there. But at least we got two successful repairs. And like I said, in these computers, it's not that I can do anything else. I need to perform the test and the repair because this is not an easy to repair computer. Again, guys, if you're here in the channel and you have not subscribed, please help me with your subscription. Every time you subscribe, YouTube promotes more and more my videos, and that's how you find me. And it's also for free, so if you do so, it will be much appreciated. Thank you so much. If you have any computers, marine or automotive instrument clusters for repairs, just copy my name. I will going to put the website on the title of this video so you can copy and paste it because there's no hyperlinks in YouTube. But also, if you you will see that the name of my channel is the same name of my website. Just add the .com, and there you have all my information. Just look for two boxes that I have right under the big letters with the name of the website, kind of like in the middle of the page. You will see two boxes, one white one and a black one. The white one says click here to fill this form. If you download that form, it's a Word document. It has all my contact information, address, warranty, etc. So you can gather all that information in there. And if you need to call me, you have my cell phone, my telephone and my email also on the website in the upper left corner. Everything is there. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Christian. Thank you so much for your business. I hope that we can keep doing this together. And if you ever need help and something that you get stuck, I might be able to help you through, the internet is always there, right? Thank you so much, guys, for visiting the channel. Again, don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye.